One day, I hope I can meet a handsome man who can sit still, follow the rules, and complete tasks in a consecutive order. Said no interesting woman ever. My name is Dan, this is Dreams Around the World, and in this video we're looking at adult ADHD. And before we get into what is adult ADHD, I want to share why I am so passionate about this topic. Not only is it something that I have, and something that a lot of my clients have, it's something that is terribly misunderstood. In parts of the world, it is massively undiagnosed. In other parts of the world, it is massively overdiagnosed. Some people think if you have ADHD, you're just lazy. Other people think it's this terrible disorder that sets you up for a life of crime and academic failure. But if you understand it and you're diagnosed and you adjust your life to it, and I'm going to explain how to do that in this video series, ADHD is a superpower. When used right, this is a superpower. You know what I think is a disorder? Someone who's happy to sit in an office 8 hours a day. Someone who can't think on their feet at all because they need to be told exactly what to do. Someone who can't figure out how to build Lego without instructions when they're 8 years old. I mean, come on, it's not that hard. You look at the picture, you look at the Lego, you build something that, all right, probably doesn't actually look like what you were trying to build, but it's still a lot more fun to do without the instructions. So there are a few different types of ADD. One is called inattentive type. And this is where you see themes like the negative themes, by the way. I'm going to get into a lot of the positive themes in this series. But the negative themes that might stand out, or why you might be looking for information on this, might be trouble with concentration, trouble focusing, trouble being organized, or staying on task. The next type is hyperactivity impulsive type. This is probably what it sounds like. You tend to be a bit impulsive. You could do things like some of my teachers might have referred to when I was in school that were maybe stupid or risk-taking or, say, disrupting the class. This is often an inability to control your impulses. Maybe it's speaking out when you shouldn't, or I think should because it makes life a lot more fun. Or maybe doing stupid things like where really you think back like, I should not have done that. I should have probably held back, but hey, I did. It can also mean feeling just that hyperactive in terms of not being good at sitting still, fidgeting, needing lots of movement. Now with this type of ADD, if you're in a classroom that forces you to sit there and listen to a pretty boring teacher going through a pace that is way below what you could keep up with, like not being stimulating enough, then it does seem like you have negative traits. But hey, we were evolved to move. We were evolved to be out and to be in nature and to be doing things, which is why a lot of people, including myself, think a lot better when moving, can achieve a lot more, come up with our best creative ideas when we are maybe exercising or going for a walk and having that kind of movement. And the third type of ADD is a combination type. And this combination type is the most common. A few things to note though, if you're trying to figure out if you have ADHD or if someone you know does, and I will be doing another video in this series on specifically diagnosing it, is that girls are more likely to have the inattentive type without the hyperactivity. This means girls are often underdiagnosed with ADD. So this is something that's often overdiagnosed in young boys who just want to play, want to move around, and teachers see that and be, oh, this person must be hyperactive. And it's often underdiagnosed in girls. So ADHD is actually a physical difference in the brain, primarily in the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain that helps us control ourselves and focus our attention. So it's the part that maybe says, hey, maybe I shouldn't say this thing, or I'm sitting down and I'm working and I really want to get up and see what that noise is out the window, but I should actually keep working, so I'll just stay in my desk. People with ADHD have less power, essentially, to keep it simple, in our prefrontal cortexes, which means we have trouble directing and controlling our attention, and that's ultimately what leads to a lot of the traits of ADHD, good ones and negative ones. Some of the good ones involve things like creativity, being spontaneous, being able to improvise things. I could not do the videos I do on this channel if I had to write out long scripts. I love to improvise. I love to think on my feet. It's when I'm at my best. And this is a very common ADHD trait. Something that may not be as possible with a strong prefrontal cortex that was constantly questioning and limiting behavior. So this is just the start of the series on adult ADHD. In case you haven't figured it out, I look at this as a great opportunity and a superpower. If you really learn about ADHD and you design your life around it and you follow some advice I'm going to give throughout this series, you'll have the ability to get a lot more done, not than you do now, but than the majority of other people. You have this Ferrari engine in your head that has the ability to go so much faster than other people. And yeah, if you get caught up, if you get trapped in someone else's structure, running someone else's race, you can end up getting nothing done, and you can end up feeling like there's something wrong with you, or that you're crap, or whatever else. But if you learn about this and you figure out how to design your life around it and use the right strategies, it can be something that is really awesome. And ultimately, if you have it, you don't really have a choice anyhow. But I'm gonna do my best in this series to share everything I've learned about this, both in terms of what it is, often clear up some of the misunderstandings or the myths out there, but also get into all the tools that I use with myself to not only, get by, but actually to thrive and to design my life and my business around my personality. And ADHD is a big part of that.